Welcome to JFix and a new video, and I'm excited today because I've got a new multimeter for my electronics workbench. So let's get straight into this. Okay, so here it is. I've already unboxed it. It's out on my desk and it is the RIGOL DM858, the E version. And here it is in all of its glory. As you can see, it's a rather unusual form factor for a multimeter. But before we get into the details on this one, there is a caveat I just want to mention. If you're watching this video because you're interested in this particular multimeter, you might be considering buying it and you want to see its features and reviews, that's fine. I've got an amazing deal that I bought this multimeter on AliExpress at a great price on there, so I'll put that in the description and share the link to that. But it's not really required. If you're just a hobbyist getting into electronics, I've just been using this or any basic multimeter is absolutely fine. You don't need to spend a lot of money on the multimeter. It's going to give you the same basic functions, you know, doing a voltage measurement or resistance, continuity. You don't really need something expensive to get into the hobby. So I encourage you to, you know, just buy something cheap to start out with. But that being said, this isn't really suitable for me, specifically because I'm making YouTube videos. So we're going to go into that in some more detail now. I have been on a bit of a journey trying to find the right multimeter to use for my videos. So when it comes to choosing a multimeter, I've already got the Handtech 4-channel power supply, and since I had this, I absolutely love this thing. It's amazing. So I wanted to get the Handtech multimeter to go along with this, and I did. I purchased that, and it's a rather expensive multimeter, but unfortunately I was kind of disappointed with it. Yeah, so before I got this RIGOL, the Handtech multimeter was great. The screen was really fantastic on it, and it was really easy to use. The measurements were brilliant, had so many features, and on the I/O on the back it had the USB, Ethernet, serial port, and I think it had a GPIB port. But whichever method I used to connect it to my computer, it locks the multimeter and puts it into a remote mode, which means that you can no longer press any of the buttons. And I want to be able to do that. I want a bench multimeter to sit on my bench and I can press the function button as to what I want to switch to. And not just that, but the measurement that you see on the screen here, there's a big delay between what you see on your computer and what you see on here. And that's really important for me because I want my videos to be as engaging as possible. So I want you to see in real time the measurements that I'm seeing with an on-screen multimeter on my videos, rather than me just reading out what I'm getting. I want you to be able to see that so you can feed it back and you can also compare those measurements yourself. So yeah, I've been on a journey looking for another multimeter, and it seems like a lot of the high-end multimeters are very similar, whether you'll lock it out into a remote mode. A lot of YouTube content creators use like the O1, I think it's called, multimeter. So I did look at that as well, and that looks really good for connecting it to your computer and getting a quite a quick refresh rate on there so you can see the measurements. But I think I'd been spoiled a little bit with the Handtech because it had a little bit of features and it was a bit higher end than the O1 one. So I didn't really want to drop down after buying that one to the O1 one because it was going to be missing some of the features that I wanted. For example, like the 4-wire measurement, because I do want to measure things that are, you know, quite close to low impedance and close to a 0 ohms. So I want to be able to use the 4-wire measurement to take accurate readings of things with low resistance. So yeah, I finally settled on this multimeter because this one is an Android based operating system, so it should connect to my computer. So as I say, this is the RIGOL DM858E, and I hope this is going to suit my particular needs. Let's just have a look around the back. So I'll just do you a close up here on the back. You've got two methods of connecting to the computer on here. You've got the LXI connection via the Ethernet, and you've also got a USB port on here, as well as the USB-C as well on here, and I think that's just for the power input. And then you've got your external triggers and things like that as well, and you've got a ground point on there. and it does come included with a grounding lead if you wish to have all of your electronics grounded, all your test equipment. It's got that feature as well. Now this is interesting. The USB-C port is a standard USB-C port, but it comes with a proprietary connector on here. So it's a USB-C and it's got a latching clip and an alignment hole in there. So that clips into there. In fact, let's just do it now. And you cannot pull your USB-C lead out by mistake. I don't know why you would, because it's going to be sat back in the bench. But yeah, it's quite a nice plug, that. Yeah, I won't be using this one, I don't think, for now, because it's got the 3-pin clover and it doesn't have a UK plug on the one they sent me. They did send me an adapter kindly to connect onto here to a UK plug. I'm not sure what region that's from, but this is just a standard USB power delivery brick. So for now, just to power it up and test it, I will use that one because it's got its proprietary connector and order a 3-pin clover for there. But I'm just going to hook it up to my power delivery input and connect it into here. Right, I've got it all powered up now. I've got a power light, so let's switch it on. And we're lighting up, and we've got a boot logo. I'm assuming because this is running a operating system on here, like an Android based one, it's going to take a while to go for a boot sequence. Not an issue to me because it's going to sit back into the desk and it's going to be left on all the time. But we'll see in real time how long this takes to load, if that is a concern for you. But while it's doing that, just show you the included leads that come with there. They are RIGOL branded leads as well, and they do have the screw tips on there. Now I'm not going to be using these because I want to be working on like ultra fine SMD components, so these not really sharp enough, but they are quite nice leads depending on what you're using, because they come with some accessories, so you can like screw in here a crocodile clip and use your leads like that. Okay. Okay, and here we go. Multimeter is booted. Okay, everything's in Chinese by default. That's okay because I speak fluent Chinese. So let's have a look. Start settings. Right. Disconnected. Looks like an IP address. LXI. What's this one? Okay. There we go. English. That wasn't too hard to find, so if you get this multimeter and you want to change it, just do that. Brightness, so let's put the screen brightness up properly. Date and time. Okay. It's not the correct time, but we'll come back to that after. But yeah, here we go. We're on with a DC voltage measurement. So let's have a little play with it. In fact, I'll have a play off camera and I'll come back to you once I'm a bit more familiar with it. Right, I've been having a good go with this off camera, testing out the basic functions, and I've connected my mechanic needle probes on there, super sharp, and as you can see on here, it's refreshing really quick on the screen. I've got it set to on the fast measurement at the moment, and if I measure something, like I've got a battery here, you can see my 9.6 volts, and I've got 3 digits of resolution on here in fast mode. If I change it on the screen here to slow, I can actually get an extra digit of resolution if I want more accuracy. So you see you've got 4 digits now after the decimal point on there. So that's a nice feature if you need it. Obviously this one updates slower, or you can have it on medium, whatever you prefer really. So I really like that, and it latches on. You can hear the little relay click when it takes the measurement and goes like that. Now, I've been researching and there's a few videos about this multimeter that I've seen on YouTube, and there was quite a few software issues on this multimeter, being an Android based one. So what I want to do is just have a look in the settings to see what software version I'm currently running. So would it be an upgrade? Would that tell me? Yeah, so memory I'm running, it doesn't tell me what I'm running there. So if I go to settings, system, let's try that, about, that should tell me. Okay, so we've got software version here, 10020. So I don't think that is the latest one, so I'm going to get that downloaded from the RIGOL website. I'll show you the update process. I'll show you some of the issues other people were having as well on this older software, and we'll see if that's resolved. But for now, let's just have a bit more fun. Let me show you the continuity mode, because everybody likes that. See how fast it refreshes. Right, okay, I'm just doing some testing based on other YouTube videos that I watched with this multimeter. They were having an issue where when you were on DC voltage in auto mode, auto ranging, it would struggle when it was going between a low voltage and a higher voltage. It would kind of latch on to the higher voltage and it wouldn't switch between the two. But I've already experimented and this isn't experiencing the same issue, even though it's not the latest firmware currently. I don't know if they were having a even earlier firmware version on theirs, but I'll just show you to confirm. So we're in the millivolts at the moment with nothing on there. I've got my power supply set to 1 volt, switch that on, and we can see 9999.9. So we're 1 volt, and I'll switch over and put 32 volts down there. And it updates 32 volts, no problem. And I can switch back, let's put a volt again. And again, it's changed. And I'll try something else. Let's try 20 volts. Working fine as well. And I have confirmed that's the same if I put it on fast as well. Yeah, it's doing the same. Let's try and change it to something else, to 2 volts. That's fine. You can see my power supply is quite good there, it's quite stable. But anyway, let's get this firmware updated, so at least we're on the latest version. So we're on 10020. Let's go over to their website and let's get it up to the latest one. I'm now on the RIGOL website and I'm on the precision firmware section, and a DM858E comes here and the latest version is 10022. And we've got 20 on there. So I've downloaded 22, and in the zip package you get this gel file on here, ARM for the Android chip. So you've got this ARM update gel file, and that's going to go and sit in the root directory of our USB stick that I've put in there. So it's already copied over, it's only 57 meg. Let's get that put into the tester. Right, I've got my USB stick, so let's insert that. USB device connected, said on the screen, that looks good. So if I go into this RIGOL logo, and let's go back to the upgrade option, and it's asking me the file path. So has it recognised it? Yes. D drive, and here we got the gel file. So I believe that's all correct. Let's press OK. To upgrade successfully, ensure the remaining memory is greater than 200 meg. We've got gigabytes, so that's fine. Upgrade. Here we go. Firmware update in progress. It did mention something in the instructions, and when I downloaded it, that your USB stick needs to be 8 gig or lower. But this is a 16 gig, still working fine, so let's leave this going. Firmware update's completed. Looks like it's going to have to reboot. Okay, we've got action and we're rebooting. Let's see if this comes up with a new firmware. Right, we're back in. Let's go back into the About, System, About, and we are on version 22 now. So that's successfully upgraded to the latest one. Now, I just wanted to demonstrate to you the reason why this on-screen meter is going to be quite important to me, because if I'm measuring something on a board like this, I want you to be able to see what I'm seeing. As you can see now, I've got my lights reflecting down on that screen. It's not very visible there. I can put the backlight on that makes it a bit visible, and I can try and like balance this multimeter under something like this, try and get the angle right so I've not got the reflection of my light, so you can see it here. But as you can see, it's not ideal, and I'm working quite high up. If I suddenly zoom in and I'm closer, you can't see the multimeter at all now. And that obviously goes for the microscope as well. If I'm zoomed in with the microscope measuring a component, I want you to be able to see these measurements that I've got on my screen here. So let's now connect the RIGOL up to the computer, and we'll see how the on-screen multimeter display works, and let's see if I can incorporate that into OBS and get us a nice display so we can work on something nice and zoomed in and we'll still get a multimeter reading in the corner. I'm all set up. I've got the multimeter connected to my computer now via the Ethernet cable. I'll show you how I've done that in a moment, but just to demonstrate to you, so you can see both screens at the same time as I shut my probes, it's almost instant on there. So what I'm seeing on the multimeter, you're also going to be able to see that on my monitor as well. And the good thing is with this is I can actually change it, and I can still operate and use the multimeter via the buttons. It's not in some kind of remote mode anymore. Let me take you over to the computer and show you how I've set things up to link this to the multimeter. As I say, I'm connected with the Ethernet cable, and I've just selected the auto IP, and it's assigned an IP address for my multimeter, and I'll take you over to the PC, but basically I just typed that IP address into the web browser. Right, here we go. So I've typed in the IP address on my web browser, and it's brought up the RIGOL web control, and if I click the web control button, there we go, we're straight in. And I'm so chuffed with this. It's exactly what I wanted. But we can see my multimeter on the screen here. I can also operate it using the buttons on here if I did want to, but the good thing is I can still use the multimeter. If I press the buttons here, I can switch between modes and still use the multimeter. It's exactly what I wanted, and it's working perfectly. I'm really chuffed with that. So let me just see if I can put this into OBS as an overlay, and let's see how it looks on a video. Alright, we're set up, and I'm so happy with this. As you can see, we've got the multimeter now down in the corner, and I can move that around if I want to, or I can resize it however much we want. So what do you think? Probably about there. We're happy with that. I'll have to look how it looks on the video, if it's too big or small. But as you can see, we're now zoomed in the board, and multimeter is working. And now we can all follow along with the measurements as we're doing everything. So I'm just so chuffed about that, and hopefully that's going to make my videos a bit more interactive for you as I'm trying to improve my filming setup. Still using my phone camera as well, so I'm going to get some proper cameras. That would be the next thing, and a decent microphone as well, because I know a lot of people have commented that. But as it stands now, this multimeter is working perfectly. There you go, resistance measurement. Yeah, I'll be playing around with it more. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found that useful. It's obviously not a deep dive into the multimeter itself. There are other people probably have done videos on that if you're interested, but this is my use case for the multimeter and it's working perfectly as the on-screen multimeter for my videos. So hopefully you're going to enjoy seeing that multimeter on the screen as I'm doing repairs, and it will help be able to follow along better on my videos. And with that being said, if you're interested in the multimeter, I'll post a link in the description, and please leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything you want me to improve on, or you got any more ideas or suggestions. Leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.